going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing the preview of Manchester City's Premier League game against Crystal Palace at the Etihad Stadium. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. You can find them in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. And do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. This video, once more, like all my previews this season, is sponsored and brought to you by BetMate. They are running a Premier League Saturday 3 PM pot worth £500, paying up to the top 25 places, and £150 for the winner as well. It is £5 to join, and it is made up of the 3 PM games taking place this weekend, with Manchester City taking on Crystal Palace. You've also got AFC Bournemouth taking on Luton Town. Chelsea, they're taking on Sheffield United, and Newcastle United taking on Fulham. You can select up to 2 players from each side. It's a free app to download. The links and details are in the description. It is available to anybody who is 18 or over, and it is available in the UK only. Remember, if you use code JSGC10 on sign up, you'll get £10 in free bets, and you can use them free bets to join this pot for free. There are lots of other available pots that you can go and check out, including both teams to score, full-time results, and lots of other games available as well, with lots of big prizes. So do go and check it out. It is a fantastic app. I will speak more about BetMate, though, later in the video. Finally, do remember, if you are going to gamble, do gamble responsibly, and when the fun stops, stop. So on to the match information for this game. It is back to the Etihad Stadium after 2 consecutive Premier League games. We're unbeaten in them, but we dropped points in both of them. Liverpool at home, Spurs at home. We drop points. We want to get back to winning ways. So it's a match between Manchester City and Crystal Palace for Premier League match day number 17, taking place on Saturday, 16th of December 2023, with a 3 PM GMT kickoff time. It is in the blackout as it is a 3 PM game, so it will be to the streams if you aren't heading to the Etihad. And anyone that is heading to the Etihad, do enjoy yourselves and do have a great time. So our opponents for this game, Crystal Palace, formed in 1905. Some interesting facts about them. They are known as the Eagles. They were founded in 1905, and they originate from Crystal Palace exhibition building that you can find in Hyde Park, London. They have a rivalry with Brighton and Hove Albion. Some people do think that it is quite strange, as they're not exactly close city rivals. But there we go, each to their own. They were promoted to the Premier League in 2013, and they've stayed in the Premier League since then, which is a fantastic achievement. However, they have, surprisingly, never won a major trophy. They've got no top division titles, no European titles, and no domestic cups, and no League Cups, no FA Cups as well, which I do find pretty surprising for a club the size of Crystal Palace. Now, they are led by manager Roy Hodgson, former England manager. Currently find themselves 15th in the Premier League, 7 points clear of Luton Town in 18th. They're on 16 points from 16 games. That ratio, for me, 38 points from 38 games, will see them remain a Premier League club next season. That, of course, will be the first ambition of the club, as it is every single season for a lot of Premier League teams. But their form must be causing Crystal Palace fans and perhaps the people in charge at the club a little bit of concern. Not won in the last 5 Premier League games. Lost at home to Everton 3-2, who were down there. Lost away to Luton 2-1, who were down there. Drew away at West Ham 1-1. Lost at home to Bournemouth 2-0, who were down there. They raised the game against Liverpool, were unlucky last weekend, but again, another home match comes and another home match goes, no points. And they're losing to teams around them. And they've gone from putting themselves in a pretty good position, 5 games later find themselves in a very difficult position. And I think if this form continues for another 2 or 3 games, you get to halfway stage, 19 games, and they're sitting on 16 points, and they're right near the relegation zone, which, if that does happen for another 2 or 3 games, could well happen. All of a sudden, questions will get asked. So normally it's a free hit at the Etihad, but I do feel like there's a little bit of pressure on Crystal Palace because they've just not got them results around them. Again, for points taken away from teams that are around them, they haven't got that. And so the expectation is, if you're not going to take points from the teams around you, you need to be taking points off teams that are further ahead, and it puts more pressure when you're facing difficult games at home against Liverpool, games away against Manchester City. And Crystal Palace, are having a bit of an injury crisis right now. Dean Henderson, Eberechi Eze, Tyreek Mitchell, Cheek Doucouré, they're all out of this game. There's question marks over Jefferson Lerma, over Edouard up top as well. Sam Johnstone apparently has a knock. These players are out as well. This is a massive blow for Crystal Palace. So having a look at their team and where the dangers are going to be, it's all about who's available and who's fit, really. If they had Edouard available, then he'll be the first danger man for Manchester City to consider. He's a good striker. I suspect with he's suspended. Olise is going to be starting out wide for Crystal Palace. Manchester City, they were linked, of course, with Olise in the summer, as we were with Eze, but Eze isn't going to be featuring here. Potentially, you're going to see Jeffrey Schlupp starting on the left-hand side. Potentially, if he is fit, Lerma starting alongside Will Hughes and Richards. And then into midfield, you've got Guehi and Andersen starting as their two centre-backs. Ward on the right-hand side and Clyne on the left-hand side, with Sam Johnstone potentially in goal if he is fit. So if these players that I've talked about aren't fit, I'm expecting them to be starting with Remy Matthews in goal rather than Sam Johnstone. A back four made up of Ward, Andersen, Guehi and Clyne. Chris Richards, Will Hughes and potentially Riedvold starting in place of Jefferson Lerma as their free in midfield, so a 4-3-3 formation, with Olise starting on the right-hand side, Schlupp on the left-hand side, and Matata starting as their striker should Edouard not be available. Now, they could potentially go a little bit more negative and drop that into a 4-4-1-1 formation and have one playing behind the striker, and the wide players are going to drop into more of a deeper midfield role. Could potentially become a very stable 4-5-1, try and occupy some more of the midfield to try and get Crystal Palace some control. But what I am expecting for them to be is pretty defensive in this game. So being clinical for Manchester City could be crucial. Now, moving on to Manchester City, formed in 1894 as Manchester City, all the way back in 1880 as St Mark's. Interesting fact about City, the current treble winners, current Premier League champions, 9 top division titles, 7-time FA Cup winners, 8-time League Cup winners, 1-time European Super Cup winners, 1-time European Cup winners, and 1-time Champions League winners as well. Led by manager Pep Guardiola, we do find ourselves 4th in the Premier League, and that's because our last previous 4 Premier League games before our away win against Luton Town last weekend just wasn't great. Draw against Chelsea away from home, draw against Liverpool at home, draw against Spurs at home, losing against Aston Villa away from home. It's not been great for Manchester City. They've improved it. They beat Luton Town away from home in the Premier League last weekend. We'll take a win. We win midweek away from home against Red Star Belgrade in the Champions League, making heavy rotation. So lots of our players now are fresh and ready to go ahead of this game and ahead of the Club World Cup as well for everyone to enjoy. We'll have all the build up to that, of course, after this game. Manchester City do have dangers everywhere on the pitch, but we do have some key players missing. Kevin De Bruyne, not really had too many updates on him. He's still expected to come back at the very earliest, as far as my understanding is, in January. We've not had much of an update on Jeremy Doku. My understanding is he's not trained as of yet for Manchester City, so I don't think he's going to be available for this game. Erling Haaland has a race for fitness as well. I've heard rumours that he also hasn't trained this week so far for Manchester City, so I'm going to presume De Bruyne is out, confirmed 100%. Doku, Haaland, I think are going to be missing for this game as well. The other question mark we have over a player is Jack Grealish. He never returned for the second half of the match against Red Star after being knocked around here, there and everywhere. I think he is fit and good to go. I potentially would go with him on the bench just to be a little bit more cautious. And it does open up the potential of more of these rotated players that did really well against Red Star to maybe get some more minutes. Players like Oscar Bobb, he was phenomenal, should be starting this game. Matheus Nunes, he was fantastic. He should be given the nod. They should be rewarded for doing really well against Red Star by getting a game here. I'd like to see youngster Mika Hamilton, who got himself a goal, the first goal, that great goal that City scored against Red Star as well. To me, I don't think he'll start, but he should be in the squad. He deserves to be in the squad. And if things are going well for Manchester City in the second half, bring him on for his Premier League debut. Who knows? Could just be the next big thing, and it'd be nice to see more of the academy lads at Manchester City. So I'm going to pop up my team prediction now. I'd go with Ederson in goal. I'd go with Walker, Diaz and Ake. Johnstone's just further ahead of them. He can drop deeper, so it goes into a back four, going alongside Rodri. I'd go in midfield with Bernardo Silva and Matheus Nunes. I'd go with Oscar Bobb on the right-hand side, Phil Foden on the left-hand side, Julian Alvarez starting up top. It means you've got good options on the bench, players like Lewis, Gomez, Akanji, Gvardiol, Kovacic, Hamilton maybe as well, Grealish. maybe Haaland, Doku, who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Now, in terms of my score prediction, I'm going to go for a solid win here for City by 2-0. I don't think it'll be a comfortable first half, but I think City will sort it out second half. So I'm going for 2 second-half goals, and I'm going for Bernardo Silva and Julian Alvarez both to bag for Manchester City, and it'd be great to get a clean sheet as well ahead of the Club World Cup coming up and 2 big Premier League games to end the year of 2023. Now, in terms of my betting tips, I smell a Bernardo Silva goal, so if he starts, I think he scores for Manchester City in this game. Do remember, if you're going to place any individual bets on players, wait until the teams have been announced so you know they are starting. Put yourself in a stronger position. I'm going for 10 plus corners in the game, 40 plus booking points as well. And I reckon if there is to be a yellow card, I can see Joachim Andersen getting a yellow card anytime. Now, moving on to today's video, sponsor BetMate, £500 part, £5 entry fee, links and details there in the description. Remember, use code JSGC10 on sign up and get yourself £10 in 3 bets, and you can use them 3 bets to join this pot for free. You can name up to 2 players from each team for this pot. The pot code is FF-Prem-3PMS-1612, the date 16th of the 12th, 1612. My team then for this pot, I'm going with Robert Sanchez of Chelsea in goal. They're taking on Sheffield United. In defence, I've got Livramento of Newcastle. They're taking on Fulham at home. And Adara Bayo, former Manchester City man playing for Fulham, taking on Newcastle away, of course. Into midfield, I've got my captain Bernardo Silva of Manchester City taking on Crystal Palace. I've also got Enzo Fernandez. I've given him the nod ahead of Cole Palmer for Chelsea's match against Sheffield United at home. And I've got Alvarez as my striker, my vice-captain for this match, of course, for Manchester City. And I've also got Callum Wilson of Newcastle, who are taking on Fulham as my other striker. On the bench, I was impressed with Kaminski last week for Luton, so I put him on the bench as my goalkeeper. I've also got Guehi of Crystal Palace on the bench. I've got Phil Billing and Dominic Solanke, 2 players from AFC Bournemouth, taking on Luton Town on the bench as well. Now, I'm going to have my live watch-along link out later on today for you to go and set your reminders for. I will be live at 2:30 p.m. GMT, so I will see you guys on Saturday for that. Next up for Manchester City after this game is going to be for the Club World Cup on Tuesday, 6 p.m. GMT kickoff time in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, where City are going to be taking on Club Leon of Mexico or Urawa Red Diamonds of Japan. For Crystal Palace, they play on Thursday night in the Premier League. Going to be taking on that derby against Brighton and Hove Albion. So there we go. That has been today's video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or in general business inquiries. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do go and check out today's video sponsor BetMate. Links and details there in the description, and I'll see you all for the live watch along tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. GMT. See you there for that. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.